Hey, we're back with Katawa Shoujo. So I guess I'll just start reading again. I wake up in a strange room. Solid morning light shimmers against the light gray ceiling. I'd forgotten to draw the curtains closed last night. I. This is my room, isn't it? My room. This is the third room this year that I'm supposed to call mine. Various things around here, remind me that indeed it's me who's supposed to be the one living here. My bags on the floor, my new school books on the desk, my numerous medications on the nightstand. I stare at the bottles for a moment, deliberating until I open the bottle, shake out a pill and pop out a tablet from a foil sheet. I down them with a chaser of water, without thinking about the chemistry. My uniforms are in the closet. I slink out of from under the sheets and stretch my back before dressing up. Putting on a new uniform feels like dressing in someone else's clothes. The artificial smell of generic detergent invades my nose, but the feeling of fresh cloth against my back is a good one, a natural one. It feels like a school uniform, as it should. It's not much different from what I used to wear before. That goes for other things too. So far, this place seems more or less like a normal school, except for the people. I think back to my talk with Kenji yesterday, Misha's constant laughter and Shizun's sweeping sign language gestures. Well, I've only met 3 students so far. Maybe they aren't that normal, but I'm sure that others are. Or perhaps people like them are what passes for normal around here. Yeah, what does pass for normal around here? What do people do? I didn't see a lot of kids hanging around after classes yesterday, so maybe there are clubs. If so, I wonder if I should join one. All through class, the questions remained on my mind, so I did decide to ask Shizun about it when we split into groups. After all, she did say if I had anything I wanted to know, I should ask her. She crosses her arms and shifts her gaze slowly to Misha, who looks more preoccupied with trying to grind the eraser of her pencil down so the top of the perfect is evenly flat. I do that. I do that sometimes. sorry, Chad. Is there something you want from me? Oh, I see. That's a good question, Chad. My first thought is that means she doesn't know, which is worrying. Maybe I'm being too negative. Well, anyway, Misha, please don't prove me right. Oh, that's right. Everyone is encouraged to join a club. A lot of people do so, because there isn't really anything else to do. There are also school events like the festival coming up in a few days. Almost every student in the school tends to help out with it, doing whatever. So, you actually transferred in a busy time. Maybe you can help out too. Sure. What's the festival about? Misha freezes. I don't know, Hichan. The truth is, it's a local event, and I'm not from the area, so... She started signing desperately to Shizun, asking her to bail her out. Shizun adjusts her glasses at the end of an oddly grandiose flourish and starts signing hard and heavy. Huh? Oh. Who cares? Misha puffs out her chest and she shouts Shizun's word out at me with the disproportionate amount of pride. Too loud. I can see heads turning to look in our direction. Not so loud. Human beings evolve with each new generation. The ideals and beliefs behind a festival will inevitably change with time. I don't know how you can be quiet and be loud at the same time. Now, it's about the delicious fried food and amusing little games that you play to win prizes. The teacher clears his throat very loudly, batting his long wooden pointer against his other palm like a baton. He shoots a pointed gaze at us. Finally noticing where we were, Misha stifles and a yelp quickly quiets down. Shizun doesn't seem embarrassed at all, though brushing it off without a care. We're in the middle of class and should start working. That's right, Chichan. What? That's right. Chichan, are you asking because you're interested in joining a club? What? Wait, I didn't even notice her face. It could have been my eyes playing tricks on me, but I think I saw a suspicious glance exchange between them. Misha's tone has also changed, although it does that every other word anyway. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Misha and Shizune look at each other again. I'm about to ask what they have in mind when something dark flutters in my peripheral vision, catching my attention. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the girl with long dark hair get up from her desk and slip silently towards the door. It doesn't seem like she was working in a group where no one seemed to notice her but me. I glance at the teacher who's also looking at the dark-haired girl go. Why doesn't he say anything? Hey Chan, is something wrong? Do I look as uneasy as I feel? Or was Misha just looking at me, after the other girl who left? No, nothing. Okay, well, like we were asking, you don't have any plans for lunch today, do you? I thought I would go to the library and pick up some books. Not really. Do you want to have lunch together then? Sure. Yay! Okay, Chan, perfect. The rest of the class passes uneventfully. The girl with the long hair never came back. Before I had the time to put any more thought into where we could have gone, the teacher informs us that it's time to stop working. Shizune looks more than a little annoyed that we only barely managed to finish all the work on time. I'm just glad we finished it at all. It's not a contest or anything. Yes, it is, Chan. Impossible. Really? Really. I noticed this before, but it's kind of funny how Misha is always moving her hands and signing not only everything she says, but what anyone else is saying at any given time. Obviously, it must be so Shizune can understand it. Her eyes dart back and forth between Misha's hand and me. I don't know who I'm supposed to be looking at. I'm talking to Misha, but that might be wrong. Maybe I should face Shizune. I'm used to looking in the direction of the person whose voice I'm hearing, but really, Shizune can't hear me, but it'd be disrespectful to talk to her only through Misha. Then again, isn't that what she's doing? No, she's at least looking at me. This is all very confusing and will take some time to get used to. It's not a contest because contests are competitions over a prize. If there's no prizes on the line, it's not really a contest. Shizune's eyes flash dangerously. With a competitive glare, she stares at me as if surprised that I'm challenging her. I think maybe this is a contest to her. I never noticed before how dark and blue her eyes are. It's truly an alluring gaze. Are you sure, Chan? Very sure. You're wrong, Chan, because I don't want to be the slowest one in the class. Therefore, what's on the line is my confidence in my abilities, and the prize is the satisfaction of proving them. Shizune pushes her glasses up in the bridge of her nose in a very matter-of-fact way. I'd argue more, but the bell rings and she quickly gets up and picks up her bag, looking at me expectantly. I'd almost forgotten that I was supposed to have lunch with them. Oh god. Where do you want to eat? The cafeteria? That's so plain. Okay, let's go. Plain? Well, I guess. At my old school, I liked to eat outside near the back of the building. It was a good spot, but I didn't find it until near the end of my freshman year. I wonder if there is a similar place to eat. Misha seems to imply as much. Shizune and Misha pull towards the cafeteria, which is surprisingly not packed. Maybe some students favor eating in classrooms or outdoors. I saw some of my classmates had boxed lunches. After we finish eating, Misha picks up where we left off earlier. So hey Chan, you wanted to know what clubs and stuff, right? Right, Chan. Okay, I guess it makes sense to ask first. They exchange little nods of confirmation. They turn to face me again, and Misha strengthens her posture as if she is about to deliver a speech. Chan, do you have anything you're really interested in? I used to play soccer, but I'm not really into it. I don't follow the teams and players or anything like that. As of late, I usually just read a lot. There is a book club, right, Chan? Right? But it seems like they have all the members they could possibly have right now. Sorry, Chan, it's a really popular club. Ha, okay. But more to the point. Hey, Chan, does this mean you don't have anything already in mind? Not really. Good, great. The great, hey, Chan, really great. Why is it so great? No reason. Wow. Well, Chan, other than clubs and upcoming festivals, there's one other thing. Student council. I see. I didn't know this school had a student council. That was a very melodramatic setup, though, just to tell me that. I'm pretty sure... Oh! I am so sorry. I'm pretty sure that two of them know this, because Shizune looks a little embarrassed about it, and Misha is laughing. Shizune really quickly retakes control of the discussion in a manner of speaking. After all, it's still Misha who has to voice whatever she says. Right. Hey, Chan, maybe you should join the student council. They could use more people. Yes, definitely. You should definitely join. Why? Well, for one, we could hang out every day at Chan. Shichan and I are both in the student council. Actually, Shichan is the president. I'm starting to get the suspicion that Shizune and Misha might not exactly be the most unbiased people to talk about this with. As if reading my mind, Shizune quickly adjusts her glasses and signs something to Misha. Of course we're not trying to get you to join, because we would obviously benefit from you joining the student council, and therefore having an incentive to try and get you to... Sorry, you're admitting that. No, we admit nothing. I mean, Chan, of course, it would be nice if you joined and it would be appreciated. But even without all that, joining the student council shows a healthy interest in the working of one's school. Yep, it's true, Chan. Besides, don't you want to spend the time with us after school, Chan? I can tell if she's being genuine or if this is just really good acting. Both of them seem to be trying hard to look their cutest, although they are already pretty cute to begin with. Well... So it's settled then. Welcome to the student council, Chan. What? No. Oh, see, Chan, of course it wouldn't go so easily. Yeah, that's right, though it would be boring if it went that smoothly. Oh well, Chan knows me candy now. You're betting on it? Hey, my life is not a game here. Shizune seems very intrigued by this when Misha signs to her. The aggressive glint returns to her eyes. That's interesting. Hey Chan, let's play a game. That's not what I said. How about Rich Man, Poor Man, hey Chan? If you lose, you have to join the student council. No, absolutely not. I don't even know what that game is. Why not? Well, because you two both have the same incentive and therefore the same goal, which is to get me to the student council, right? Yep. Yeah, that isn't my goal, but what this means is that both of you can team up and I'll be at a clear disadvantage, so I'll have to decline. Chan, I'm very offended. Are you saying that you don't trust us, that we would pull something so disingenuous? That makes me sad. Sorry? It's hard to tell when Shizune's influence ends and Misha's thoughts begin. In order to atone for hurting a young girl's feelings, she should gently join the student council. No. How about a game of paper football instead of Rich Man, Poor Man? Paper football? Yeah, it's a game that they play in America. You make a paper triangle and then you try to shoot it past goalposts that the other players make with their fingers. Isn't it cool? It's the ultimate form of competition between two people, Chan. It's also played by elementary and middle school children, Chan. What? That means it's a game that really separates the boys from the men. Whenever I see that laugh here, well, it reminds me of Wario. More like the boys from the slightly older boys. Anyway, I'm not going to play that either. Just the fact that you know about it means you're probably surprisingly good at it too. Yeah, that's true. How did you know, Hachan? Shijun frowns at Misha, telling me that she wasn't supposed to admit that so readily. I wouldn't say that I'm happy with their attempt to get me into the student council, but I'm a little curious about what the student council does here. I've never been on one before, or even known anyone who is a member, so it interests me. I also kind of like Shizune and Misha, so maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Okay, Chad, how about Risk? The game of the world domination. I don't know what that is. It's really fun, Chad. You fight for control of the world with armies and everything. Sounds like Shizune would be good at it. If you want to play, we can after school. Oh, really, Shichan? We can play just for fun, Shichan. Shichan hasn't played in a long time, so if you want to, there are no strings attached. Well, okay. Okay, perfect. We'll see you after school in the student council room then, Shichan. Wait, why there? Because that's where we keep the game. I grimaced to tell them how much I do not like this. It was more for show than anything. So in the end I agreed, but only after getting Shizune to acknowledge that I don't mean anything concrete, just by attempting to take a look around and play a game with her. Lunch ends, so we go back to class. What? Alright. During afternoon classes, the long-haired girl comes back and sits down in her seat without a word. Again, no one seems to notice, or if they do, no one says anything. I want to ask Misha about it. I don't want to be too nosy. After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel a little offended, but I'd been considering it nevertheless. I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they're on their guard. Well, what's with the escort? Oh, that's me. I gotta deepen my voice. What's with the escort? That doesn't make me very uncomfortable. In fact, it makes me feel a little dangerous prisoner. It makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to his cell. What's wrong, Chad? That's right. We're going to play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know, Misha. This all seems a little sinister to me. I start thinking that when we sit down to play the game, that they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Oh boy. Something about tying down to a chair just reminds me of something else in this game. Well, that's highly unlikely, but still, for some reason, it just seems like it would be so plausible. Getting to the student council room as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being so on top of me seem a little silly. That's not true, Chad. Chichan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the ability to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened? Her expression unchanged. Misha signs something unusually to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. Stop that. I know you heard me. You have no excuse unlike Shizune. Shizune opens the door to the council room. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it's quite large, maybe even a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the center surrounded by chairs, and a small desk prominently placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side as well, extra perhaps. Aside from tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old school records and documents. Not much else, in fact. Nothing else. This is a pretty big room. They could at least put a potted plant in here or something. The most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? No. What do you mean no? Doesn't it mean nobody else is coming today? Yeah, that's right. Before I managed to ask why Why that's the case, Shizune claps her hand together very energetically. Hey Chan, let's play a risk. Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to. Ha ha ha. Okay. Do you want to know the rules? We can explain to you while we set everything up. While Misha is talking, Shizune takes out what she looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. After Misha spends a little too long for liking running through the basics with a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arms through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off on me. I started feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agreed to this. Halfway into the game, music! While I try to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from the two fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. Jichan wants you to know that you're taking too long to make a move. Jichan also says that she will let you keep Australia if you agree to join the student council. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no. Chan admires your fighting spirit and would be benevolent dictator who would spare you people if you agreed to join the student council. You're so competitive, Shizune. She seems to take that as a compliment. I'd expect the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. I agree, Michelle. I did the same thing. She doesn't seem to know what the word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizune, who is returned signed back to Misha. Misha presses her index against her temples as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly Shizune bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her repeated signing. Oh wait, please hold down, Shichan says you're going to lose. Tell her I'll crush her whole empire with my rebellion. Ooh. Okay. Those eyes of hers shine like childlike mischief. She says you have no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. First off, let's see. I wonder how many save states I can make. It's a trap. It's smarter to play defensively here. It's a trap. Or if she has a point, I can attack her best. I think she does have a point. She's either really mocking me or trying to trick me. I have nothing else to lose, so I might as well try to do something different. Maybe if I spread out my forces and try to control more territories, I can recoup the advantage. She soon seems focused on conquering whole nations, so maybe I can sacrifice my whole on continents to gain more small countries. It's worth a shot. A few turns later, I end up losing the game anyway. Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration. She does a fist bump. I win, yeah. There's no need to translate that. It was pretty clear. Wow, don't look so sad, Chan. You're really giving it your best. That's what I thought. Sometimes your best just isn't good enough. Though, if anyone knows that, it's me. You did very well for someone who just learned how to play today. Hey Chan, you attacked Iceland and North America at the same time. That's a very daring move. Chan is impressed. The mark of great people is that they're daring and they can't follow through. You're already halfway there. Isn't that great, Chan? That isn't enough though. Just potential is enough. There's no point of potential if you don't take the first step. There's no point to that if you don't keep going. I want to see more. You're right, Chan. That's so demanding. Shizune leans forward, suddenly looking a lot less playful and more like a serious person I expected her to be from the start. Hey Chan, would you like to join the student council? She really doesn't waste any time, does she? But it's only my second day at school, so I am hesitant about committing to something so early. I haven't even taken a look at any other clubs yet, but spending time with Shizune and Misha doesn't seem like something I would hate. I still need more time to think about it before I decide for sure. Maybe. I'll get back to you on it. Okay, Chan. Well, I hope you're not saying that so we don't feel bad. No, really. Really? And Chad, if you're gonna say that, you're saying that it's definitely the truth and there can't be any mistaking it. I know. I guess I should have revenge for losing, at the very least. She even smiles at the mischievous, that in a mischievous way that feels like twisting the knife in the wound of my loss. Oh. I take a glance at the clock on the wall, realize I spent far longer playing grist than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Jijun scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine when the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Chad. We think the library is open. It's on the second floor. You can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No thanks, it's okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. On the flight of stairs up, I run into problems. The second floor hallway is carbon copy the third floor one. Wide, of course, and plain, like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked as signs stating which class they belong to, but then there's the plethora or other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hallway? A bit on the ladder, I choose my direction at random. After I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, just barely ajar, so I can see it's open, nothing else. It makes sense for the library door to be invitingly open. And while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside. I can ask for directions, no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push up on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arms ready to pull back at the moment's notice. The feeling of being outsider to the school can be shaken from my mind, so much that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it's much easier to open than I anticipated. Leaning over and poking my head even further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, then meek, "Hello?" on my lips, it's quickly snatched away. This is not what I expected. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking the sight off the solitary figure taking center stage in an otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently, having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Why, hello there. Hello there. May I help you? Standing directly in front of herself, the movement of her lips seemed to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's a soft, measured voice that reminds me she's being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Hi, sorry, for intruding. I was just kind of lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks. I slowly step towards another seat opposite of her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling me that the slight cloudiness in her eyes means she must be at least partially blind like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't make any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely uncomfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council. I take it you're a new student to Yamaku? Yes, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow at reading, one which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. I'm Millie Sato. Pleased to meet you. This how Nikai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along the shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty fingers to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the difference between disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate. Me and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I've never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offer preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of the silence out of my silent observance. What room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Shizune and some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicating it's being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students, to be with the means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, in the science room with Mutao. She gives a small giggle, setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite a character. I imagine you'll come to like him most do. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, the smell quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks, Sato. Sit out. It tastes really nice. She smiles quickly, waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please. There's no need to be too formal. She says it in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try and ask her about herself, as if she doesn't seem as if she's catering to me. So which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct. I'm in 3-2, which is one on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, poor choice of words, Sal. I feel like slapping myself with a faux pas, looking at her face. She doesn't seem to be a little bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Ah, sure, sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. Well, the same can't be said for everyone. Many have come to terms with their condition, category of which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic, I segue into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be a vision on the place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunch times. My duties as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. class representative, huh? Compared to Jejun, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Jejun's blunt and fierce, less driven, Lily seems to be relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view on the school clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunch times, the baseball club, and the book club in a room near the library. There are also numerous small ones, though, such as art and music clubs. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if school shares the same rule as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Ah, good. That's a relief. I'm really let down on my guard on this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact she seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking as Lily does the same. As I look over the window over my shoulder, I notice a light coming into the room. It has a distinct orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. Huh. The time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. It seems to come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of time. Sorry, Sal. I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly move her to allay her concern. Ha, no, it's okay. The library is still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked June when I had the chance, but Lily seems like she knows it in any case. True, it's open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking to you, Lily. She smiles and gives us a deep nod. Her hand still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. No, come to think of it, so I'll show you where the library is. I couldn't possibly ask for your help. I should be able to find it alright. Or, well, unless my navigation skills fail me, which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's alright. I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. She stands up to follow me. She takes hold of a straight, retractable cane that had been slipped in the hands of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane the boy wore my class had, Lily's looks thinner and longer. This must be for support what Lily's is for navigation. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers. We slowly walked through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door, to the warm-looking room, apparently situated at the center of the floor, rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gave an appreciated the smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is the wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my old school's library, with a distinct smell of an old book giving the place an almost old world air. Old world air, yep. There don't seem to be a lot of students here considering the time. It isn't a big surprise. Everyone is probably either in the school grounds or the dorms. Yuko, are you here? She says it in the thin air since the librarian doesn't seem to be present. Of course, Lily can't see. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quick wail. Oh! The origin, apparently the librarian, crawls out and bounces up to extremely rigid attention. Hi Lily, how can I help you? Her voice strained and failing attempt to sound casual, and she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing. I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk, and while I was looking for it, a pencil dropped, and when I was looking for both of them, you came and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry. I couldn't know. It's okay. It's okay. Sorry for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. Oh. She's quick to reverse Lily's apology, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibilities that she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes. Worse things have happened. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and then she shuffles some papers around the corner for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and very troubled look. She seems to fit a lot very perfectly. Ah, Lily, did you get my message? Message? Oh, the 2 imported books had arrived. Right, they finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but it missed her celebration partially for managing to change the subject. I'm sure she noticed me from the corner of her eye, freezes on the spot when she does. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Did you need to check out your book or return one? I'm sorry. The way she quickly shifts between moods is a little unsettling. He's with me, Yuko. This is Asao, new student. Asao, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Asao. Right, Asao. Pleased to meet you, too, Asao. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave her name on her mind so she won't forget. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Asao a little something about the library? Lily's innocence suggesting is met with an expression to object her. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. There's too much responsibility. How is it any responsibility at all? I don't get. But her objection, so there's a lot of books in Braille here. I attempt to try to save the day by asking first thing that pops into my head. It seems to work at least partially, as Yuko seems to not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. I'm gonna be right back for a second. Sorry about that.